What should we do? Should we get hyped or something?
Probably not. We got to keep it at a reasonable level.
Baby's in the house.
No. Go ahead. You're loud as possible. I see, like, you can't hear yourself, Jay? Is that what you said? Like, because no one can hear me and I can hear myself.
Whoa. What? Did you take some of that DMT?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
You're listening to Daddy Knows Bets with your hosts, Jay Fisher, Matt, the Ghost Lawman, and Steve, the Brain Wolf.
Yeah, motherfucker, it's fucking fantasy season. We got football going on, and your boy's off to a pretty mediocre start, I would say. But he's been on fire this last week. First week was a little bit rough on the gambling aspect, but last week I had a get-right week, and I had 2 high scores of the week, motherfucker. And I had one also that was the second highest score of the week. Steve, guess who I played?
Your boy.
I played against the guy who had the high score of the week, of course. Fucking asshole, but whatever, man. You know, we moved past it. It's a long season. 2-0 in a few leagues. I'm not – oh, no. Oh, shit. I am 0-2 in one league, but we don't want to talk about that league. That league doesn't even exist as far as I'm concerned. And if it does exist, they're fucking cheating. But we're off to a pretty good start. Man, week 1 was bonkers. But I don't think that anybody necessarily didn't expect that. My Giants are 2-0 right now, Steve. Man, I know that you love that, buddy boy. How you feeling about these Giants right now?
Exceeding expectations.
Yeah, they're going down in flames at some point. But hey, listen to me. They're 2-0 right now, and they got the fucking Cowboys and they got the Bears on deck. I mean, is it possible that the Giants really start out 4-0?
It seems that is a definite possibility. They're a favorite. Aren't they a slight favorite still?
I believe they're
that line's
1 point favorite right now.
I think they started out as like a 3-point favorite and it's moved to like a point. So obviously people weren't very high on Dallas after Dak went down, but I don't know how much of a difference it makes. The Cooper Rush era has started here at Dallas, and
I was gonna say the Cowboys look better with Cooper Rush in there, but come on, it's week 1. I mean, Dak only got like a half of football to play, so that was week 1. I want to go over some of these things that we're buying or not buying. Today, soon, now, not right now, soon. We're gonna get into this stuff, but one thing I can say is I don't think the Bengals are going to have a very good season, and I've been saying this for a long time. The Super Bowl hangover is fucking real. I don't necessarily believe in the Bengals at all. I mean, I didn't believe in them last year. They proved me wrong. They went on a hot streak. I'm just not a believer. I'm not a believer. I know that Burrow to Chase is sexy. That connection is sexy, but I just don't think that Burrow is that good of a quarterback yet, maybe in a couple years. And I don't think that team is very good. The Super Bowl hangover is real. So I'm not going to go ahead and anoint Cooper Rush the next big thing to come out of Dallas because I don't think that the Bengals are that good. But I'm also not ready to anoint the Giants as a top team in the NFL. I mean, it would fucking shock me if they get through these next 2 games 4-0. And it would not shock me if they did start out 4-0. It would not shock me if they still finished under 500. Steve, your Bucks, man, they're also 2-0. Giants are on the same level as your Bucks, but I'm going to be honest. Tom Brady looks emaciated. When was the last time he's had a meal?
I don't know. I'm not really sure what happened there in the middle of training camp, but Tom did a complete 180. He left for that 11 days during the middle of training camp to handle some personal business and came back looking like a member of the Dallas Buyers Club.
Is Tom Brady going to make it through the season is my question.
There's problems on that O-line, obviously, but
I'm talking about is he gonna be alive?
Like actually. Oh yeah.
Make it.
Yeah, I think.
As long as he has his HIV meds.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine, dude. Look, Magic Johnson got healthier when he got AIDS, so
it's true. Yeah.
You have enough money, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
He gained weight. Maybe, Tom can do it too.
Yep.
After his diagnosis. Well,
listen, I'm not really worried about the Bucs. The Bucs defense is pretty good. Man, I wish I could have bet on Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore getting into a fight, though. Jesus Christ, that would have been money in the bank.
It's just really stupid, and I'm glad that the NFL handed down a suspension for it because it was just uncalled for. And Brady is such a fucking whiny little baby these days.
Oh God!
Tablets.
You know what?
Oh my God! I can't be frustrated. You have like 350 games under your belt in your professional career that you've played, bro. Like there have been games when you have not played well. Things are not going your fucking way. Like this is clearly a personal issue, right? He clearly has personal things going on right now. I know that he's very competitive. He's a fiery competitor. And yes, he's going to wear his heart on his sleeve. But man, this guy is, when you're this old, you've been in the league this fucking long, and you are having tantrums still on the side, you just got to think that there's something going on in your personal life, and that backs up what happened in the offseason and the fact that he looks like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia.
Yeah. Can you imagine spending the last 22 years getting chased by 6'5", 310-pound men and being tossed around like a rag doll, and then the thing to end your career is your wife?
Yes, I can imagine that me personally, no, I can't imagine that, but because I don't think I could ever meet a woman that would stand me for a couple months, let alone a marriage. But no, I can imagine. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys are you're married. A lot of people listening right now are married, and they're probably all shaking their heads. Yes, yes, I can imagine.
Jeez, man. I mean, when you put it like that, I get it, but
women, yeah, they'll do that to you.
Sure.
I can't figure them out. I've never been able to. I've given up a long time ago. Matt seems to be doing well over there. I want to talk a little bit about your baby because I saw a picture of him just a little bit ago. Man, he's got some hair, and he's got bigger biceps than Steve already. I mean, that's not saying much, but can we talk a little bit about parenting? Just a tiny little bit. I want to know what you guys do to put your kids to bed. Matt, I know that you are doing some co-sleeping right now. Okay. Awkwardly moving on. Steve.
He's actively laying in bed with the baby next to him. You got to keep it down.
Yeah, we're recording live.
Okay.
No. Actually, we just started some sleep training in his bassinet. So we try that, but he doesn't last in there very long, unfortunately. So
you got to keep at it.
Matt was just reporting like he was Steve Irwin in the wild. He was like, "Oh, crikey, look at him out there in his natural habitat."
Don't want to disturb the beast. Well, you got to do the sleep training, man. You know why? I actually was just speaking with somebody about this earlier. She's got a little 1-year-old, and she's not getting any sleep. And she's like, I'm thinking about this sleep training. I'm like, you got to do it, because she's like, yeah, but every time I put the baby down, like literally she just, she won't last 15 minutes. Well, that's the point of the sleep training. That's what's going to help, because if you don't do it, then it's never going to get better. I mean, it might eventually, but once you get to like a year, then forget
So the
about
training is essentially let them scream their heads off until they stop.
No, that's what you've been doing. Okay.
No. I mean, like, is that the training or?
No. You're supposed to let them cry, but you have to, and then pick them up and console them, and then put them back, and then let them cry more, and then for a longer period of time is what I believe I remember.
Exactly what Matt just said, but with breaks in between.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hold her hand.
Yeah. Here you just tried to paint Matt out to be like some awful person, letting his child scream his head off, and then you just repeated the same thing in a more professional way.
Oh God, no! Don't ever get me wrong about that. If you want to let your kid cry and scream, fucking go for broke, dude. I don't know if you guys ever met Lila. I call her Kryla. Dude, and she is a little Meryl Streep too. She's gonna be an actress. You just know it because just all she does is just pretend to cry all the fucking time. And it got to the point where we literally have to just completely ignore it. And you can't do it. You can't do it because you're at a playground and she drops down to the ground and starts bawling, and immediately every single person in the playground just fucking flocks to her. Oh my God, are you okay? And I'm sitting there, this fucking horrible looking parent on my phone, just staring at my phone while my daughter is crying on the ground. And it's the complete opposite of what you think, because I'm literally just staring at my phone thinking to myself, oh my God, get the fuck away from her. Because the crying is an attention thing. When it gets them attention, they're going to continue to do it. So why wouldn't they fucking do it? But if they start crying and you ignore it, they're going to eventually realize, just like you training a puppy, they're going to eventually realize this is not getting me attention. This is not working. Oh man, you guys are getting me worked up about it, right? No.
Shit, I know adults that do that.
Yeah, and you know what? It's probably because their parents didn't do sleep training. Don't ever feel bad about letting there's a difference, if your kid is hurt, your kid needs to be consoled when they need to be consoled. It's a fine balance. They need that love, but then they also need to learn how to handle their emotions.
And stop fucking faking it.
What's an appropriate response? Yeah, they need to learn an appropriate response to their emotions. So it's very fucking difficult. Very, very fine line. I don't know, Steve, have you had problems, especially with I think that Landon is probably like the opposite of a crier, right? That motherfucker don't give a shit about nothing.
Landon would beat the shit out of you and laugh while standing over you.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole different realm. That's a ball game that is just even harder to handle. And sometimes I wish it was a crying phase like that, because it's like, oh man, it's just. And now when you had younger,
he hurts you and laughs about it.
Well, yeah. So like he's realizing his own physicality, right? And he's like, yeah. It'd be real cool because
if I slapped you in the face right now.
Yeah, and it takes everything you have not to crack the shit out of them, and it's like part of that is probably my fault and just the way we play and we roughhouse, right? I mean, I had this kid in a sack stance. He not like a 3-point stance, but he uses his one little index finger, gets down in a sack stance, and comes and tries to sack you. He's been doing that since he was like a year old. So like I've almost bred the physicality into him to the point where now I have like a beast that's uncontrollable. And when he does inflict that type of pain, he's like laughing at you. And I don't know if you've ever been beat up by a 3-year-old and then got laughed at on top of it.
Every day.
It's a shameful event.
Every day, Steve. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this completely fucking normal. Lila does it all the time. And she'll even do it in my face. And I'm like, listen, you hit me one more time, we're going to timeout. Bam! Smack me right in the face. All right, boom, timeout. It's completely normal because they don't understand the concept of pain. They don't understand necessarily empathy in that aspect. It takes a while to develop that. So don't worry too much about it. I mean, they'll grow out of it. They'll understand it. But yeah, as a boy, I can't imagine, because I don't sit there and play football with Lila, but she still wants to hurt me and hit. And it is frustrating, but I think that, you probably just have to implement timeout.
1, 2, 3 magic.
That's
I don't
hilarious.
know. What is the 1, 2, 3 magic? Lauren is talking about doing this, and I'm like, I don't. That's a book. I got to read that. I'm like, I don't want to fucking read no book about parenting. It's crazy how many fucking books there are. Every fucking person that you run into is claims to be an expert on parenting. Nobody knows anything about this fucking shit. Your kid's going to be fine, okay? He smacks you in the face. He's 3 years old and laughs about it. That doesn't mean he's going to grow up to be a serial killer, okay? He's probably going to grow up to be a very sweet boy and a very nice young man.
Yeah, you know what the crazy part is that, like, it only happens here at home because this is the comfort zone. Because we send him, we call it school, right? But it's daycare. So he goes a couple days a week. All reports come back great. He's respectful. He listens. He plays well with others. He comes home, and he's just unleashing all that energy. And now he's just teeing off on whoever comes his way. He doesn't care if it's the dog. The one thing, like, I'll square up with him. I got no problem with that. The one thing that gets me all riled up, though, is when he goes after his little sister. Like, she's just learning to get up on her knees and stuff, and he'll just walk right by her, bip her right in the forehead, and boom, down she goes. And I'm like, bro, what's going on here?
The fuck you doing? Yeah, it's completely normal. Don't read too much into it. And you can probably sit there and just waffle back and forth all day about which, philosophy you should take on it. And whatever you think works, then do it. But he'll grow out of it.
No, I don't.
Don't try to rationalize with him. He's not in the frame of mind to do so. His brain isn't fully developed or not even close to it. So the timeout thing is effective. Like,
yeah, no, I don't waffle over any of it. You know what I do? I go, all right, I'm going to work, but good luck, girl.
Landon, did you just hit your sister? All right, I'm going to go tell your mother. Peace. I got to go.
All right, see you guys at 4:30.
Did you just – Lindsay, he just hit her. Shout out to Lindsay. Love the baby mamas. You guys are killing it too. You do much better than we are. At least we were fumbling through this worse than you. All right.
Yeah, listen, big ups to Lindsay, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not built to stay at home and raise two kids as a full-time gig. Absolutely.
Yeah, the baby mamas are kind of like the defense in Tampa Bay. Like, that's the only thing holding it together.
You guys will take any shot at Brady. Right. I'll fucking listen. I hope that guy breaks a tablet a game. He's earned that right.
Yeah, I guess he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Everybody fucking
he's
laughs.
Retired.
Listen, everybody laughs until come December when Gronk and Odell are like, "Hey, Tom, we're coming."
Will Odell be ready to do that? Or does Odell have a team? Does he play for the Jets or something?
No, he's not on a roster. And this is my question, Steve, because they just signed Cole Beasley, and people are kind of jumping on the waiver wire right now. Cole Beasley. He caught 160-something balls these last 2 years. Yeah, but he did it for 500 yards. Is Cole Beasley going to step in this week and play?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, Evans is serving a 1-game suspension. Godwin's not likely to play.
What do you mean you don't see why not? Do you know how hard it is to learn a fucking offensive playbook?
Listen,
it's here's a dictionary.
When you listen,
memorize
stop it.
this.
Come on now. Come on. When you've been playing as a slot receiver in the NFL for 6, 7, 8 years, right? There's only so many routes in the route tree. We're not talking about something that's like a foreign language here. You're not going to learn Portuguese in 2 days, right? Tom's going to simplify things for him. He's going to be like, hey, little Wes Welker, go down here, 7-yard curl. I'm going to hit you in the chest. Catch the fucking ball. First down. Keep it moving. It's not rocket science.
Yeah,
and if Cole Beasley drops a ball, then Microsoft is going to get more advertisement. We're going to be fucking breaking tablets all season.
And then Julian Edelman will be coming in.
Bing bong.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Is why didn't they go and sign him? Or because he's ready to play, he wants to play. How about ODB sitting out there?
Did you catch ODB this weekend? He just so happened to be in New Orleans, giving Tom a whole bunch of hugs before the game. I'm telling you, wait till December. He'll be signed up.
Well, hold on. In December, Mike Evans is going to be back. Chris Godwin's going to be back. They got Russell Gage there that they like for some reason, I believe. So I don't think they're going to be needing to bring in more pass catchers at that point. But
Julio won't be playing. His hamstring will be fully removed.
Yeah, that's the expectation with Julio. I'll be honest with you. The only time the Bucs are going to be in trouble is if something happens to Fournette.
But Lenny's trying to make it happen for the people. You see that? He's like
Lenny's a man of the people.
He's like, I'm sorry for letting you guys down. I'm going to score more touchdowns to all my fantasy owners out there.
Yeah, you got all these guys who are bucking the fantasy system, right? Like, oh, fuck your fantasy team. I don't give a shit about your fantasy team. Fat Uncle Lenny's like, just bear with me.
Yeah, that's Arthur Smith, that motherfucker.
yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's better than some of these assholes like Austin Eckler was all about drafting himself in fantasy. And now is he just gone silent? He doesn't he wanted to be the number one overall fantasy pick. He's a big fantasy guy. And then 2 weeks later, he's got nothing on his fucking resume so far.
I'm hoping the reason the Chubb didn't go down last week was not because he has himself on his fantasy team. He's done that before, too. You know that, right?
I thought he did go down before.
No, it was like against the Texans, I believe he didn't go down.
Well, look, I mean, come on. There's under 2 minutes left. You're plowing your way into the end zone against the fucking shitty Jets at home.
Hey, just play. Just go with the odds. Go with the percentages.
It's not Nick Chubb's fault that they lost that fucking game. All right, nobody blame Nick Chubb. I mean, they give you a carry. They give you a carry inside the goal line.
The fact is, the game could have been over had he gone down.
They give you a carry inside the red zone. You're trying to score a touchdown. I get it. Yeah, but you know what? The game could have been over so many other times too. I mean, the game could have been over. How about just stop Joe Flacco? How about not fucking fumble that onside kick? How about cover a fucking – I mean, how do you let – you're down 2 touchdowns with under a minute left. Corey Davis, there's nobody around him. I mean, that guy is just streaking up the sideline. And what are you guys doing? You guys are just taking a break? That's not – don't blame Nick Chubb for that bullshit. I'm getting sick of you motherfuckers blaming him.
Listen, speaking of that Jets game, right, one of the best gambling hits of the season that I've heard thus far, I was talking to Big Dog Bailey at work, and one of his boys decided to throw $20 down on the Jets and the Dolphins when they were both down 14 points and pulled out 3,800 on it. The balls on this fucking guy.
Hold on. This season, I mean, that was just fucking genius. And you know, if you see that opportunity again in week 3, it's probably still not a bad bet because
I'll be honest with you, I'm completely over pregame money line betting. What a fucking waste of time. As soon as the game kicks off, those odds change so drastically. You're better off betting something live at halftime or something like that because it just doesn't pay to bet a game pregame anymore.
All right. Well, this is a good segue, actually. I'm looking at this week's slate, and I want to figure out what you guys think. Any good pregame? I guess Steve just told me he doesn't want to participate in this segment, but maybe Matt will give us some insight. You looking at some of these spreads, some of these money line things. The first thing that popped out to me, honestly, was the Chiefs on the road at the Colts, minus 250.
Oh, here we fucking go with this guy, Matt.
Look at what the Colts have done.
This guy with his fucking Chiefs, dude.
Look at what the Chiefs have done. Look at what the Colts have done.
There is no more room in Patrick Mahomes' bed for you anymore.
You're right, because he's just banging supermodels left and right.
No, he's not. Have you seen his fiance? Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking dog meat.
I'm talking, philosophically.
They're married now, actually.
Fantasy-wise.
That's even worse.
I mean, look at what the Colts have. They got fucking shut out by the Jaguars. And then the first week, they were getting demolished by the Texans before they made this crazy comeback. What is it about the Colts that you can look at this game and tell me that the Chiefs minus 250 is not a fucking steal?
Because it's the NFL.
Okay, that's a cop-out. Okay, I get it. Anything can happen anytime. I mean, I can walk out of my fucking house and a fucking monkey can drop out of the sky and start ripping my eyeballs out. All right?
Okay, that's fine. So if you tell me that if it comes Monday morning, right, and you go, oh man, how did I not see the game script where Jonathan Taylor keeps the Chiefs offense off the field and runs for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns? How did I not see that coming? I lost my fucking dick on Mahomes this weekend.
Listen to me. I want stats though. I want things to back this up. What has Jonathan Taylor really done? Because the Chiefs' rushing defense is pretty good, 3.9 yards per carry. I think they're a top 10 rushing defense right now. And you're talking about Jonathan Taylor, who's been pretty underwhelming. The Colts' offense.
I mean, they didn't give him the ball last week. I think he had 8 carries.
Why do you think that is, though? Because they can't get the offense rolling at all. They can't.
Matt Ryan is washed. That's the reason. So that's the problem.
Okay, exactly. And you don't think that Matt Ryan is – so you're telling me that Jonathan Taylor is going to just come in and run the ball 40 times and be able to completely keep Mahomes off the field until Mahomes gets on the field, and then the Colts defense is going to be able to shut down Mahomes they were fucking Trevor Lawrence? Listen,
nobody came out here and went to bat going – oh, the Colts are a good team. Like, no, what we've seen is what the Colts really are. Their offensive line, which was their actual anchor point of their offense for the last couple of years, has been atrocious. They can't keep the heat off Matt Ryan. But a line like this, from everything that we've seen, like you just said, this feels like a trap line.
Totally. And the sharps are all on the Colts. Taking the plus 5.5, or the line has moved a lot. It's moved around a lot.
It was -7 at first, yeah. And it's so funny because I was looking at it and I think they were minus 250, and then I looked later in the day and it was like minus 280, and I was like, fuck, this line is moving. I better jump on it. And then as soon as I jumped on it, 2 hours later it was back to minus 250, of course, because I'm just a complete asshole. But yeah, I think the general public is backing the Chiefs. But when the line starts, when most of the bets are coming in on the favorite, but then the line starts moving towards the dog, that means that the sharp money is coming in for the dogs. So
and that means don't bet the Chiefs.
Well, I
mean, if you're taking the money line, I think that might be safe. I see them winning by like 3 points.
Yeah, I think that the sharps are looking at the 7 and thinking that's a lot because the Colts are not that bad of a team. They're not, especially
most people aren't looking to bet a minus 260. Like, either are you going to parlay that like with another money line? I don't know.
Yeah, I am. You know my style. This is what I'm asking you because I'm looking at this and I'm like a Survivor guy. I'm like, okay. Tell me which 2 or 3 teams are not going to get fucking knocked off this week. And I'm looking
I can't see the Eagles losing, but it's a division game on the road, so maybe stay away from that.
Well,
I can't see the Ravens losing. Like, that line seems crazy to me. Like, I know they just got – like, they were dominating that game against Miami. So, just – what would this line be had Miami not come back in that game? Imagine the Ravens actually won it 31-17 or something like that. What would this line then be?
Yeah, I agree 100% with you, Matt. Like, are we really out here thinking that Mac Jones can keep a game against Lamar Jackson within 2.5 points? That Patriots offense sucks. And granted, the Ravens defense is Swiss cheese, right? But if you're going to bet on something, you're going to bet on Lamar Jackson to probably be able to put up more points than Mac Jones.
Yeah, I like that. I'm all over the Ravens this week.
I'm taking that minus 145 for the Ravens before I take the Chiefs at minus 250.
Well, I will say this about the Ravens, though. Week 1, they played the Jets, and they got off to a really slow start. The only reason they won by 20 – did they even win by double digits? I think the Jets started coming back in that game also. But the Ravens got off to a really slow start in that one. So it's kind of scary the way that the Ravens should be really fucking good and should dominate all of these games, but they didn't really dominate the Jets. And then they got fucking embarrassed by Tua. So I like the Ravens in that also. One other line that I'm looking at that I think is a little bit kind of crazy is the Bills at Miami. I mean, we don't know how good Miami is. I think they're a really good offense, but I think that the Bills are just kind of on a whole other level. And I think that 6 touchdown performance from Tua, was it 5 or 6? I can't even fucking. My head was spinning from it. I think that's a little bit of a fluke. And honestly, the Bills.
7.
He had a lot of touchdowns. I mean, they were just flying down there.
It was like 489 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Nobody was covering anybody at that point. I don't understand how that works in the NFL. I don't really understand how football works. How you can be dominating a team for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, it's like, oh wait, this is how you do it. But the Bills minus 215. I think that the Bills probably, even though it's on the road and it's a division game, I think that they're just on another level right now, and I think that they will dominate the Dolphins.
You know what line I'm all over? Just because, I mean, I've said this 100 times. Justin Fields is absolute dog shit, and the Texans at plus 130, that defense is pretty stout. And if you're going to make me choose, I'm going to choose Davis Mills over Justin Fields any day of the week. So, parlay the 130 Texans line with the Ravens at minus 145 puts you at plus 288. Lock that up. That's the lead pipe lock of the week.
Oh, that's a tough call, man. Matt, you in on the Texans here with Steve?
I mean, for the money line parlay, I would probably go a different route just to
I'm not touching it.
Have something safer.
I'm not touching
it. If I'm going to bet the Texans, I'm just going to do that straight up. So, like, maybe I would oh, God.
I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about a fucking sleeper underdog parlay here? Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll throw the Jags in there, plus 255. They could absolutely beat the fucking banged-up Chargers offense. Why not? We'll throw the Lions in there. Lions offense looks fucking solid. But, well, we're talking about winning money here. I mean, do you really – how many units do you really want to put on the Texans, Steve?
Okay, fine. Oh, here we go.
I'm really liking this Eagles line.
How about the Falcons?
I refuse to touch that Eagles line. The return.
Okay.
Listen, the Eagles, for as good as they looked on Monday night, right? And I don't even want to hear all this fucking nonsense about let's crown Jalen Hurts. I read a local article the other day that said who in the NFL could stop Jalen Hurts. Like, give me a fucking break here, okay?
Well, they dismantled.
Jalen Hurts got stopped by the fucking Georgia Bulldogs. Jalen Hurts is stoppable, okay? Let's just everybody calm down with this. But
I don't know, bro. He's been slept on his entire career.
Oh, boo fucking who for Jalen Hurts. Let me ask you a question.
The MVP.
Here's another
in Steve's face.
Yeah, there's no fucking way. First of all,
better than Tom Brady.
I'm super disappointed in you guys dick riding the Eagles the way you are. And it's really starting to create a fire inside my belly.
I mean, are we wrong? We haven't been proved wrong yet.
About what? You just said we're 2 weeks into the NFL season and everybody's overreacting, and I think we're doing the same thing here. Like, don't tell me because you won against the Lions by 3 points and then you fucking put up 20 some odd points against the Vikings that you're all of a sudden the fucking NFC favorite. Get out of here with that.
I mean, that conference is just seemingly so weak, in my opinion. They just come off as the strongest overall team at the moment.
Listen, and their schedule, we talked about this the other night in the group chat. Their schedule is absolutely horrendous. I think it's the easiest schedule in the NFL. Not by my standards, but statistically by the NFL standards.
Yeah, it's up there. I think Indy's is actually slightly easier, but they're not taking.
I can't wait. I just can't wait for the Philly papers on Monday to read, I can't believe Carson Wentz just shoved it up our ass.
Ew. Do you really believe that's going to – just hold on. Listen to what you just said.
This is the NFL, right? This is the NFL where storylines matter, right? Do you think Carson Wentz, would you be surprised if Monday morning you were like, man, should have seen that. The Eagles are probably going to lose 2 games this year and they'll both beat a Carson Wentz.
You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, but if it does happen, it's going to be a final score of like 41-38. So maybe we're looking at the over on that one because that defense is just fucking garbage on the Commanders. I like the offense. I think they got a lot of weapons and they are putting up points.
I don't necessarily think that the Eagles defense is the greatest thing in the world either. I mean, you catch Kirk Cousins on primetime, who, by the way, for any quarterback who's ever had a minimum of 10 starts, Kirk Cousins has the worst winning percentage in primetime games of any quarterback. The guy just chokes under the lights.
Yeah, that's fine. I agree with that also. I think that the Lions offense is really good, actually. Well, not really good, but I think that they're much, much better. I think that they're probably going to be in the upper half of the league in offense this year. So I don't really blame their defense for that week 1 meltdown, especially, like I said, in the second half. I don't know what the problem is. In the second half, you just decide to stop playing defense sometimes. But I don't think that defense is necessarily that good. But I think that the Commanders' defense is trash. I think it's garbage. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. If the Commanders win, it's going to be like 41-38 is what I think. So I would lean towards the over on that game. Only at 47 points right now. That feels like that feels a little low to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And listen, I'm willing. Believe you me, I understand that there's a realm here where the Eagles go out and trash the Commanders, and it could end up 35-6. And I'm willing to eat those words, but really, it's not really eating anything, right? Because they went out there and did what they were supposed to do. But on the flip side of that, if we're having this same conversation next week, like, fucking told you fools that Carson Wentz was going to shove it up their ass. That doesn't really surprise me.
Right. But if you tell me right now that the Commanders' defense is going to stifle Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense, then I'll chug this fucking beer right now. Actually, I don't even know why I said that. Probably because I just want to chug a beer right now. So I'm going to go chug a beer right now. Matt, tell Steve, Jalen Hurts is going to have 4 touchdowns this week.
I'm expecting him to have a big game.
You guys are enamored by Jalen Hurts only because you watch Daniel Jones on a weekly basis.
I know. It's just so nice to see a guy that can throw it so accurately and then also run the ball effectively too. He's just so dynamic.
All right, it's getting.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Aside from the 2 teams that we saw, put on a straight slaughterhouse on Monday night, right? The Bills and the Eagles. Is there any other team in the league outside of those 2 that stands to lose everything? When their mobile quarterback potentially goes down? Because the Bills without Josh Allen and the Eagles without Jalen Hurts are completely different teams, right?
Oh, are we talking? Is Minshew still in the picture in Philly?
He is.
Oh, I'm not worried then. I would be more worried about the Bills. I like Minshew to come in and be able to carry the torch if needed.
Oh, so regardless of what happens, you'll still be an Eagles fan.
Like a Hostetler type situation.
Yeah, but you don't realize who's backing up Josh Allen right now, and that's that gunslinger Case Keenum, boy.
Case Keenum, okay. All right. Yeah. True.
Oh man, I just got a text from PDH Hybrid. Hey Jay, any interest in Barkley? What kind of question is that? Of course, yes. Do I have any interest in Barkley? Of course. I hate when people do that. I hate that in fantasy.
Yeah, so
people are like, hey, you interest guy? And I'm like, yeah, what do you want from? I don't know. Why did you contact me? Make me a fucking offer.
No, that's
going to sell high before he blows his knee out.
That's not fucking. He knows exactly what he wants. You and I both know PDH. PDH has a unrealistic offer in mind, and he's just waiting to spark conversation just to get to that for you to be like, I'm going to block you now.
I'll give you Saquon Barkley for Christian McCaffrey and Aaron Jones. Look, did you just contact me for that? Like, why do you waste your effort? It's the worst. I can't believe. But I mean, I don't know. He gets people to agree to trade somehow. I don't know. I mean, that's part of fantasy football. It's just fishing. I do that. I fish. Hey, here's an offer. Do you want this guy? Okay. What are you gonna say? No. And then what? I'm not gonna go fucking lock myself in my room and cry for 30 straight days. You say no, fine. I'm just gonna move on. Maybe I'll make you another offer. But that is one of the things that has won me championships before. Is just fishing and making trades with people that I'm clearly winning. Like I'm just ripping these motherfuckers off, like clearly. But you never know. Some people value players. This is different. People value players differently, so you never know. So, I mean,
or some people just don't know shit.
If some people don't know shit, yeah, exactly. So it doesn't hurt to fish. It doesn't fucking hurt to fish, and that is a strategy that I have throughout the season. I like to go bait my line. I'll put a nice little dinger on that hook, and then I'll just throw it out there. And man, I got to tell you, I mean, some of the championships that I've won in big money leagues, the only reason I've won those was because I have ripped people off horribly, But on the other side of it, I guess I've got ripped off too before. So,
how many people knew that Ashton Dulin was getting 25% of the target share in Indianapolis right now?
Okay, so that leads me into my next segment. Believe it or not.
Matt was trying to shout me out there.
Steve, I'm doing a song here. All right, what do you want to say? You are not Ashton Dulin.
No, but I picked him up last week.
Oh, well, don't you feel special?
Well, that was part of the shout out. Thank you, Matt. Hey, respect.
All right. So let's go ahead and start out this new segment called Believe It or Not with Ashton Dulin. Matt Loman, tell me his stats again. You said he's had 5 catches each of the last 2 games. Wow.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they're probably just not throwing the ball. I just don't think they are running that many plays. But target-wise, he's had 6 in the first game, 7 in the second game, so that's it's pretty solid amount of targets, making some catches too.
Believe it or not, are we buying him or selling him?
He's all they got, but it's like the question is Matt Ryan's arm gonna fall off? Probably.
It's already fallen off.
Steve, you liked Ashton Dulin, but you dropped him because he's a little bit. We like to root for an underdog, all of us, but he's not going to have any season-long fantasy appeal, right?
No, I don't think so. I mean, he was more of a fly-by-night circumstance, based on Michael Pittman missing last week. You had to assume that Paris Campbell was going to get matched up against, DB1, so left a little bit of room open up in that secondary for a guy who Matt Ryan gave a few looks to in week 1, threw a dart on him, had to throw him in my starting lineup because I was missing Chris Godwin, and he was able to save the day with double-digit fantasy points. So he served his purpose for a week 2 flyer and keep it moving.
Wow. Yeah, I know, Steve. I was just kidding, okay? Nobody is fucking buying into Ashton Dulin.
Listen.
Both of you assholes.
That's not true. You play in a fucking 16-man league, I guarantee you that man's rostered and he will be for the remainder of the year.
That is true, actually. Very, very deep league, which actually leads me to my next player. Noah Brown from the Dallas Cowboys had double-digit targets last week, had a touchdown. Had I don't even fucking know. I'm not even going to bother looking it up. Had a nice game. And the week before that, had a pretty solid PPR outing too. Noah Brown, are we believing or not?
With Gallup coming back, I don't know how that's going to impact him, but I like him. I think he's the real thing. He's like a journeyman, this guy. He's been around, right? He's carried the torch. He's played for a while.
Speaking of torch
in the NFL.
He's 26 years old. He's not a rookie. It's not like he was just drafted this year and just decided, oh, hey, now I know how to play NFL football. No, he's been around a little bit. 26 years old. I
don't know. They need some other targets, so maybe the Gallup thing will help CeeDee Lamb get going because.
Yeah, he's been with Dallas the entire time, by the way. From 2017, he was drafted as a rookie. Interesting. So he's 10 grabs, 159 yards on the year. If he gets another 25 yards, he will tie his career high for receiving yards in the season. I'm not buying it either. I think Gallup is coming back. I think he's got a pretty good rapport for Cooper Rush. And, week 1, you never know. Week 1's a little bit wonky. Week 2 was the week that he actually had a really nice game. He had a touchdown. He had 5 grabs for 91 yards. So he's got 5 grabs in each. I'm not buying it either. I don't think a lot of other people are buying it. But he is definitely one to keep an eye on. If he has a nice game this week, I think that he's going to shoot up those waiver wire rankings. But I don't know if I would still buy it because I think that he's got a pretty good rapport with Cooper Rush. But Dak might be back week 4 is what they're saying. I don't believe that either. I think he'll probably be back more like week 5 or week 6 seems more realistic. But when Dak is back, Michael Gallup might be on a snap count this game. So if Noah Brown has another decent game, people are going to be jumping all over him. However, I would preach caution because Gallup is going to be back probably full force by week 5. Dak is going to be back by week 5. And frankly, I don't see a lot of room for Noah Brown in this. Dalton Schultz is hurt, but I don't think it's a major thing. I think he should be back. But I think that most people want to hear about is, I believe he was probably the number 1 waiver wire ad this week. Noah Brown, Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, also from the Ohio State. Steve loves him some Ohio State receivers. Matt. Now let's go to Steve on this one. Steve, Ohio State, Garrett Wilson on the Flacco-led Jets. Believe it or not.
Oh, was there anything after the believe it or not?
That was a question.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, Garrett Wilson, he's been impressive, right? I don't like saying that about Ohio State products, but you also then look at his snap percentage, and he's still wide receiver 3 as far as I think he's playing. Hold on, let me gather myself here because I think I read that he is playing 55% of the snaps.
It was a smaller percentage than you would imagine.
Yeah, he's making the most of his opportunities. So let's see here.
A lot of that is in garbage time. I mean, the target share is definitely there.
So he went from 49% of the snaps in week 1 to 61% in week 2. However, he's still trailing Elijah Moore and Corey Davis considerably. And it still looks like the Jets are trying to, lean heavily on Michael Carter and Breece Hall. So although Wilson has made the most of his opportunities, I don't really know that I expect him to continue on this torrid pace here. So I don't know. He's probably a guy that I would fade personally. Plus, they're not going to let Joe Flacco keep the reins here when Zach Wilson comes back and is healthy because it's just not something that NFL teams do. You're not going to lose your job to injury like that unless your name's Drew Bledsoe. So what type of rapport do Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson have?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I get it. It's sexy. Rookie wide receivers, it's not like it used to be. It used to be that you look at rookie wide receivers like you don't touch them. They're kind of like rookie tight ends. They're not going to do shit. But it's been different this last few years, especially where there's usually one or two that pop. I think people are looking at Jamar Chase last year like, oh shit, well, just draft the best rookie wide receiver, and he's gonna. And Drake London has looked phenomenal also. But if you are
what about that bum? Fucking
Olave has been pretty good too.
Bum.
Yeah. But if you are investing in fantasy in a fucking Jets wide receiver in general, that's just bad business. And I'm sorry. I understand, things change from year to year, but you're talking about a wide receiver on a shitty offense who, they're not going to throw the ball 50 times a game. They might have to at some point, but it's not going to happen 50 times a game. And Joe Flacco's not even going to be there. You're right. Zach Wilson's going to be back. So you're talking about a guy who's getting targets, who's getting volume, who's getting production in a shitty offense that's going to be shitty all year with a quarterback that he's not even going to have in a couple of weeks. Somebody spent $29 on him of their $100. That's 29% of their budget. That's actually your brother, Kev. He was on here. He was on here as a guest. $29 on Garrett Wilson, and I'm not really buying it either.
So listen, you can dig up the history of it. I too bid on him. I wasn't willing to go to that extent, but when you get to, it seems like every year, and it's probably just because the knowledge of the guys that we play with, the waiver wire early in the year is getting thinner and thinner. So it's like you're looking at some of these receivers. If you need receiver help like I did, you're like, man, I don't see any of these other guys really jumping off the screen here. So I might have to pay up for somebody like Wilson to see if he can sustain it.
Yeah, that's true, especially in deeper leagues, hybrid 16-team league, and there's never anybody on the waiver wire. People save their waiver fab for whatever, for that next, big handcuff running back where their number one running back goes down, so this guy can come in and just be RB2 on your team. That is ridiculous. Like, there's everybody who who could be relevant is already rostered. What are we saving our money for? We're saving our money for bullshit. In a league like Stat Junkies, or I'm in one actually where it's a 2 wide receiver league, so it's very running back heavy, and I'm saving my money in that, because it's not a very deep league. So I feel like at some point, one of these guys, there's still guys like Dontrell Hilliard out there, there's still I think Alexander Madison, somebody like that. Might even be in free agency. These guys where you can save your fab, and if somebody goes down, you have an opportunity to obtain an RB3 or an RB2. But in a deep league like that, there's no point in saving your fab. So when I saw Kyle got Noah Brown for $150, we have $1,500 of fab. When I saw that he got spent $150 on Noah Brown, I was a little bit upset about that, honestly. I feel like I'm not really buying in on Noah Brown, but I don't really want to save my fab for a lot of things. Kareem, oh my God, get in the fucking end zone. Are you serious? Sorry.
The way he landed, I thought he broke his leg. I was like, oh boy.
Kareem Hunt just now?
Yeah.
It's just all frustrating. 3rd and goal. Come on, stay in. Run him again. Oh, sorry, but
Stuffy McStuff face.
The amount of fab that you want to save for whatever you think you're saving it for, it really depends on the league. In a deep league like hybrid, where there's 16 teams and there's 19 roster spots, it doesn't really make sense to save fab. Get in the end zone. Oh, he got stuffed again.
Let's stop plugging that fucking thing. Let's talk about Stat Junkies or something.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway, sorry, we got kind of off topic. So I just have a couple more here. Believe it or not, Tua.
Chubby.
Tua. What did Tua have last week? Let's take a look at his stats. Does it even matter?
I think it was 469, 6 touchdowns and 2 picks.
So he had 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1 rush attempt for 1 rushing yard. God damn it. I feel like I wanted Kareem Hunt to get that touchdown for me, but all right, I'll take it, Chubby.
The thing that's most impressive is the receivers, right? Look at where 190 yards of that went to Tyreek Hill with 2 touchdowns, and 171 yards of that went to Jalen Waddle with 2 touchdowns. It's 2 guys in that offense, and that is it.
Yeah, Edmonds has been nowhere to be found.
And the only reason that happened was because of that epic meltdown. I still just will never understand how you end up just having this complete defensive meltdown like that. It doesn't make sense to me. But the only reason that Tua had that big game was because they were down so much. Their defense just completely sucked. And then it was totally fluky, right? I'm not buying into the Tua hype. Is anybody here buying into the Tua hype right now? Do we need to be picking this guy up?
I mean, if you look at the tape, dude, all those balls were underthrown.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, but yeah, he's not that good.
Okay. And
I would much rather have Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Well, we're not. Jalen Hurts is not available in free agency, Matt. They were talking about this is a waiver wire type segment. So
then pick yourself up a Wentz or a Flacco.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, he's still available in a whole bunch of leagues.
I know what's going on.
Are we buying into Carson Wentz? Believe it or not, this motherfucker is the 3rd or 4th ranked quarterback.
Yeah, we're not talking about locker room personalities or wins and losses in the NFL. Strictly fantasy football. That could include 3 picks, but he'll probably still at least throw 3 touchdowns. So yeah, I mean it's a guy.
And their defense is just trash. I mean, they gave up 22 points to the Jags. They were down. They gave up 36 points to Detroit. So I feel like they're going to be playing from behind a lot. And, Curtis Samuel, I mean, he had that really nice year in Carolina. And then he came to Washington and was just an injury-plagued year, shitty quarterback play. He just couldn't get on the field. And when he was on the field, it wasn't going to be productive because he had fucking Taylor Heineke throwing to him. So Curtis Samuel is a weapon for them. Dotson's looked good. He's got 3 touchdowns already. McLaurin seems to be even 4th fiddle on that fucking team, and he's a baller. They got a lot of weapons right now. So I'm buying into the Carson Wentz hype. How about Jahan Dotson, Penn State wide receiver? Steve, believe it or not.
Listen, forget about Penn State. Let's talk about a local Lehigh Valley kid. Went to Nazareth High School. I'm happy for the things that he's able to do. That week 1 was big for him, man.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns the first week, and that was very fluky. I mean, after week 1, I was like, fuck that. I'm not touching this asshole. But then he comes back. I think he had 4 grabs with a touchdown. I mean, the guy is a baller. And I don't like rookie wide receivers. I'm starting to kind of, warm up to him, I guess. But season long, Matt, are you going to pick up Jahan Dotson and throw him in as your wide receiver 3 every week?
I would definitely think about putting a future in on offensive rookie of the year, but I don't know the fantasy implications. He'd be something. I wish I would have got him in the rookie draft, though. That would have been nice. He's going to have a bright future. I like him a lot. And he went to Penn State, so of course I'm biased.
Jesus Christ. Why don't you just suck his dick, man? He's going to be a good player, but redraft leagues, yeah, he could probably, you don't want to spend too much on it. You can get him for cheap and you got somebody that you want to drop. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't think the target share is there on that team right now. So in redraft, unless something changes, I don't think it makes sense at the moment.
It's just not sustainable. His touchdown rate, I mean, he's not going to score 25 touchdowns this year. He's already got 3 of them. So, but clearly a baller. I mean, dynasty. If you can trade for him, I mean, I don't think you're going to get him cheap at this point. But maybe wait several weeks until he starts sucking, come back down to earth, and then try to trade for him because do like his dynasty appeal. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We've talked a lot about football. We talk a lot about.
No, you don't. You don't get to escape that. You don't get to escape that segment without talking about Greg the Torch Dortch.
I think I do. Does anybody want to add anything about Greg Dortch?
All right. Yeah, never mind.
Okay. Man, okay. Even if you do want to talk about Greg Dortch, I'm going to go ahead and throw the flag right now. Penalty.
Call it off. Kyler's trash. So
excessive babbling. Well, do like Kyler. That was a really exciting game actually. But we're gonna try to let's go ahead and start to wrap things up a little bit because I'm getting drunker. I'm really fucking tired from all of my hard work that I did today. I think I woke up at noon, so it's about almost my bedtime. I want you guys' best bet for this week. Anything. Could be a parlay. Could be, one of my shitty 2-leg parlays that I like to do. Could be a prop bet. It could be a fucking bet on preseason hockey, which is actually not starting till next week. But anything. Whatever you guys think, take your time with it because I will edit out all of the dead space. I'll start with Matt. Matt, give me your fucking best bet for this weekend.
You know what, man? I'm going. I can't fade them. I'm gonna just take the points with the Bills. Like if they're gonna win the game, they're gonna win by double digits. That's what they do. So it's either they lose outright or they cover that 5.5. So at -110, I'm gonna take the Bills on the spread.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, Steve, what is your best bet for this weekend? What's going to make people money? We don't want to fuck around. Matt, if you lose people money, you're cut off. You're out of this podcast, okay? Steve, you might get a mulligan.
Kind of like the Rays the other day after the Astros clinched the division.
You're on fucking thin ice, pal. We thought I don't know why I went with. I actually had. I don't even remember what it is now, but I had a bet all conjured up, and I was like, "I'm going to place this bet." And then you were like, "Oh no, the Rays." And I was like, "What the fuck? Who would bet against the Astros?" And you're like, "No, just do it, man. After the day after the Astros clinch a division, they always lose. Those teams always lose." I'm like, "All right, fuck it, I'll do it."
I just figured everyone would be hungover because they were celebrating the victory, but
no. Matt, do you want to know why
the Rays just decided to sit all their players instead? It was a reverse psychology thing.
Mm-hmm. Which usually you want to take because if you're like, oh shit, this could be the 1927 Yankees against fucking Landon's T-ball team, and you're like, oh okay, I'll take the 27 Yankees, and what do you know? Landon's T-ball team ends up fucking winning by 8 runs. That wasn't a horrible bet until it lost. And you want to know why the Astros clinched that division and home field throughout the playoffs, Matt? Is because they're really fucking good. Stop betting against the Astros. Take them in the playoffs. They're going to beat the shit out of the Yankees or whoever the fuck else gets to the ALCS. They're going to the World Series. Bet on the Astros to go to the World Series.
Right then, the Yankees just beat the Red Sox in extra minutes.
Shut the fuck up.
Just happened. Judge did not hit his homer, but maybe tomorrow. Yeah,
good for them.
Are they going to trot Rich Hill out there against the Yankees? Because that's when I would bet on Judge to hit his homer.
I don't think anybody cares but you two.
Moving on.
Okay,
Red
moving
Sox
on. Go ahead.
suck.
Sorry.
Don't be proud about beating the Red Sox because they are just a trash team. They're trash. They're very
Shut up,
trash. They're
Jay.
garbage and they're trash.
Shut up.
Which is weird
I
because
will bet. You know what? Now we've taken this to another level. I'm going to bet on everybody except the Yankees and the Dodgers to make the World Series.
I wouldn't bet on the Dodgers either. Dave Roberts does not want you to have nice things. He will find a way to blow that. Braves or the Mets versus the Astros. Lock that shit up, man. That's my bet for the weekend.
No, I'm not. No, buyer beware too. Jay sucks on the Astros like he does the Chiefs, and that got shoved up his ass last year too. It's probably going to end up being like the Mariners or somebody ridiculous.
It's not, but okay. Yeah, fine. Bet on the fucking Mariners. Lose your goddamn money.
Fucking Astros. Get out of here.
My bet for the weekend is anybody who is on any team that's playing against me because they're just the best whenever they need to be against me. It's fucking ridiculous. I had the second high score of the week in hybrid by like 25 points or 30 points. Sorry, it's just annoying.
How'd you do in Envy this week?
Huh? Who said that? Oh, I can't hear you. I'm breaking up. Fucking dick. I put up plenty of points in that league, but still, of course, didn't fucking win. And this is the funny thing about fantasy. This is why I like gambling more than I do fantasy, is because it's mostly just a schedule thing. That's what controls fucking fantasy. I mean, it doesn't matter how many points you put up or how fucking good your team is.
Well, yeah, unless you're in a league. I know they have leagues that are strictly point-based, right, and not head-to-head matchups? Or is that not a thing?
The fairest format, we will never do this because it's stupid, but the fairest format is to have each team play against the league average every week. And if that team beats the league average, then they get a win. That's the fairest way to do it, but we will never fucking do that. We're best ball. Take the whole.
Yeah, but best ball but best ball just leaves you with no managerial input whatsoever. Like, you could just be some asshole who drafted well, but you don't have to make the decisions on a week in and week out basis.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I hate that almost as much as I fucking hate Justin. Who had that big game? Who do you even have on your team?
Oh, it's a trash team, dog.
How did you put up 150 points on me?
Are
you fucking cheating?
Collective effort.
This is bullshit.
So what's your bet, Steve, for the week?
Hold on. No. Fuck you, man. Don't fucking sweep this under the rug. 147 points you put up. Oh, Amon-Ra. Oh, and Josh Allen. Okay, I want to talk about Amon-Ra real quick, Steve.
Yeah, actually, that's a great segue. That's my bet of the weekend. You parlay the Ravens -2.5 with Amon-Ra St. Brown over 69.5 receiving yards, brings you to plus 250. Take that motherfucker to the bank, boy.
Yeah. I may have been a tad bit off on him. I was a little bit concerned about his usage, his target share in that offense, but man, I think that he is probably the fucking real deal. And
I bought stock in him everywhere.
I know. I saw it. Every fucking league, almost as many leagues as I bought stock in Jalen Waddle. And honestly, I wasn't really that into Jalen Waddle, but he just kept falling to me in mocks and in drafts. And when you look at a player that has a really good rookie season like that, Jalen Waddle had over 100 grabs as a fucking rookie. And I know there are changes going on around him, and people get distracted by that. But when you just look at the core of the player, a guy like Amon-Ra, there are things going on around him, but he had an amazing second half, at least, of the rookie year, I mean, he's just a baller. Jalen Waddle is just a baller. So
I think if Amon-Ra actually has a game this week of 8 catches or more, he breaks the NFL record for 9 consecutive games with 8+ catches or more.
Yeah. And the NFL has transitioned so much into a passing league that you really can't ignore things like what Amon-Ra did the end of last season, like what Jalen Waddle did last year. So it's a little bit hard for me, Steve, because you know that I'm a running backs guy. You know, I will live and die with my running backs. And I feel like it's probably a little bit harder to judge running backs is why I kind of like it still, because, I mean, you look at a league like Gridiron Gang that's full PPR. I've been dominating that fucking league for the last 2 years. Last year I won the championship. The year before that I had the best fucking team ever, but I just didn't win a championship. This year I'm 2-0. I think I have the most points in the league. You know why? Because it's fucking easy. Just draft 4 wide receivers out of your first fucking 6 picks, and you win the league. And somehow people don't understand that. PPR is fucking easy as shit because you can find good wide receivers. Finding good running backs, solid fucking running backs, that is hard. And that's why I do not like full PPR, because it's too easy.
It doesn't make a difference. It's all relative.
Looking back now, though, if I could just have Chubb and Barkley in every draft, I probably would be sitting pretty. And then you can still grab wideouts, but you don't know what's going to happen, you know?
Well, it's still week 2. I mean, let's give it some time.
Chubb is the best.
Not going to score 25 touchdowns, and Tom Brady is not going to end up as the quarterback 18. Okay,
but Chubb is going to be the best running back in the NFL this year.
Chubb is a baller, and if you drafted him, good for you. A couple of running backs that I'm concerned about. Eckler doesn't seem right. Zeke is just a bust. Honestly, if you have Zeke, I wouldn't even mind you dropping him right now. I would probably wait another week or 2. I don't know. Maybe when Dak comes back it's different, but Zeke is just a bum.
I can promise you, because this is the first year I've been able to acquire him, Kamara is going to suck this year too.
No, Kamara is a strong hold for me. If you can trade for him cheap, I would absolutely trade for him. He's going to get the volume. That offense is going to be fine. They're going to score a lot of points. That's going to be a good team. Hold Kamara. Fournette is going to get his touchdowns. Hold Fournette.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. First coach to get fired this year.
Oof.
Matt Rule, probably.
Got to be Rule.
I don't know if they'll
now, I mean, if it wasn't for some of the things that occurred last week, then maybe we're talking a different story. But
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of guys in their first year here. Now, you don't ever see first-year coaches get fired. But, like, I'd be firing in Chicago, in Denver. It's just not going to happen. So I think you guys are right. Yeah, I think Matt Rule's probably the top pick there.
I think Kingsbury might be headed out the door if they didn't come back last week.
They did. Kingsbury's 1-1 right now with an amazing comeback. So they had a bad game of football and a bad half. They had an amazing second half of that game. It's week 2, people. Let's fucking calm down about this shit, okay? Jamar Chase is going to be fine. You know, Najee Harris, he's got a touchdown. He's going to be fine. Your first-round picks. I'm worried about a couple of guys, but let's not freak out. Kyle Pitts, what do you guys feel about him? Are you freaking out about him?
Yeah, you should freak out, Jay.
Okay, yeah. Honestly, I was thinking about trading him last year because the hype was just too much. You can't live up to that fucking kind of hype, but
yeah,
you know, what am I going to get for him? I mean,
well, London is Mariota's guy, and then Mariota's second option is to run. So,
and what about we didn't mention McCarthy too? Yeah, he could get fired.
McCarthy's 1-1. You're not going to fire a coach.
No, listen, they're going to miss the playoffs. No, but he's saying the first head coach to get fired this year. Nobody's getting fired after week 2 or 3.
They don't. The Cowboys don't fire coaches mid-season.
Okay, so just for that, it's definitely going to be roll. So put your money on that.
Yeah, but I mean, how many teams actually fire a coach mid-season anyway? They usually just fucking wait until Black Monday.
Okay, well, the most likely coach to get fired this season or
the Panthers. The Panthers weren't having expectations to compete for the South, were they?
I don't know. You know who's a horrible fucking coach though? Is Nathaniel Hackett. I don't know if you've seen these last 2 games.
Yes, that's why I said in Denver, I would have been fucking. How about when they lost that game in Seattle after he decided to kick that 60-yard field goal? And then with 15 seconds left and only 2 timeouts, he decided to use them.
I can't even.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I lost like $1,500 on that fucking game. Like, I cannot believe. What are you doing? Like, what? How did they lose that game? Like, you fumbled twice at the 1-yard line. You can't punch in another time. You set up for a fucking field goal. And then it was that one fucking play where they ran that screen where that fucking linebacker, who I've never even heard of, just shot in there and put them in a 2nd and 14, and then they run another play and then get inside the 50. This guy has no idea what he's doing. If you watch that last game, I think they have like 4 delay of game penalties already this fucking season, and like 100 fucking false starts because he has
Russ Cook.
He can't make up his mind. He's like, all right, we'll send in the punt. Oh no, bring out the offense. Okay, well let's do the offense. Okay, now we're gonna kick the field goal. Well, hold on, what are you doing? Like I play Madden. That's all I do. I could fucking make decisions like that.
So actually, it's funny that we're talking about the Broncos, right? Because I don't know if you guys have seen this.
Broncos country.
There are some ex-Seahawks players that are really throwing some shade Russ's way. Do we think that this whole Bible thumping Russ is a good guy deal isn't really what it actually is?
Broncos country.
When you see fucking Doug Baldwin and Richard Sherman and all these guys laughing at Russ having a pretty awful start here, it's like, whoa, that's not really you would think that these guys would ride for this dude because he seemed to be a pretty decent dude, but maybe he's not.
I mean, they won last week, and honestly, I'm not too worried about that offense. I think if we look at this Monday night game, I think that the Niners minus 120 right now is really good fucking value. Because
Monday night, that's Sunday night. Monday night is you said.
What did
Monday
I say?
night is Giants.
Okay, I said Monday night, and they're actually Sunday night. Okay, Don't fucking correct me, Matt. Okay, whatever I say is right. If I say they're playing on Monday, then they're playing on fucking Monday. And if I say that minus 120 is good value,
What a
We need a
catch,
backdoor
dog.
cover here. This would be huge if this.
Yeah, what a catch, dog.
Jay,
were you talking?
But yeah, I do like San Francisco there. Jimmy G. Let's get it.
Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted to touch on that real quick too. It upsets me that Trey Lance's leg is completely dismantled because I wanted him to stay healthy so he could show everybody that he fucking sucks too, just like Justin Fields.
Yeah, it's kind of a cop out. Like have your leg almost fall off, so you don't.
And how about this dipshit? Almost
that's
look at that. Say, whoa. That fucking dipshit tried to stand up on it too. Like
that was a catch, was
bro,
it?
just sit down.
yeah, he doesn't.
Is that not a pick?
He was very I don't know, compared to Josh Allen, but he's like the complete fucking opposite. And I think that he is probably going to end up being a bust.
Oh no, I guess his foot was out.
And the funny thing is, they didn't really want to even keep Garoppolo, right? I think they were trying to trade him, but they couldn't really get shit for him. But now they're probably
now he stands to make a lot of money. He's basically bonusing off of every win now. I think it's like in the 300,000 mark per win.
The minute I read the article that Trey Lance was upset that they re-signed Jimmy G, I was like, all right, this guy's a fucking diva. you haven't done a damn thing, and you're mad that they keep competition around.
Well, you can't believe all of that. That's just some speculation, some gossip.
Trey Lance has a face that looks like he's a baby back.
Hold on 1 second.
Are we wrapping this up? What am I waiting for? You know I don't wait.
Milton, should we leave? we should just ghost him.
No.
Let's do that.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I think they're gonna get this at the 1.
I saw Matthew Berry tweet, "Are you kidding me? Something happened." I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball. Oh, it's pass interference. Good. Yeah, this would be huge.
Yeah, but no, they had an illegal shift too. So they
oh God!
I never understood that, how a 5-yard penalty and a 15-yard penalty can offset each other. That's a crock of shit.
That is a crock of shit. But I guess, yeah, just any penalty offsets another. Doesn't matter. It's size, yardage.
Matt, you're absolutely right, dude. I'm watching this fucking thing up here that says they're showing Tua and Josh Allen. The fucking Dolphins are going to get trashed this week.
Let's do it.
Sorry. No, I had to pee. I peed all down my leg.
The Bills are just a force to be reckoned with right now. It's pretty unbelievable.
Their defense is what's setting them apart from everybody else.
Yeah, they did some stuff. And, I know we talked about the Bengals earlier, but the fact that they can't protect Burrow is the issue. Like, I thought they made moves to shore up that offensive line, but obviously that's not the case.
I'm not freaking out about them, though, either, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be just fine. Look, you're going to have after this game a 2-1 division leader, right? Oh, well, no, okay. The Ravens are 2-0 right now, going to be 3-0 if they win against the Patriots. But I'm not really freaking out about the Bengals, to be honest with you. They got to shore up some protection. Their skill players are still elite. I'm not worried about them.
Alrighty. Well, I guess they kick the field goal here and then try the onside kick and don't cover like a bunch of bitches.
Yeah, probably. Although it's pretty windy there, I wonder if they just take this field position and they're like, fuck it, let's go for it here. How long before we see Kenny Pickett?
I'd say by week 5.
Because Mitch Trubisky is not him.
So here's the thing that I've actually been hearing about the Steelers is that Kenny Pickett is the future, but
we might have a first down here.
But they are comfortable with what Trubisky brings to the table because they have this mapped out. Okay, don't think Mike Tomlin. Don't think that Mike Tomlin is an asshole and came into the season expecting Mitchell Trubisky to be doing things that he's not doing. He knows what Mitchell Trubisky is, okay? He's not some asshole. He gave Mitchell Trubisky the job. He is the one that brought him in and decided that Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the starter. He knows what he is, okay? Just because he's having some quote-unquote struggles doesn't mean that he's going to fucking throw his rookie quarterback to the dogs. I mean, put Kenny Pickett in this situation. You really think Kenny Pickett is going to be doing a lot better? No, he's not. Okay, they're not out here necessarily to be throwing 300, 400 yards every fucking game. No.
Here's the deal.
They want Mitchell Trubisky because he doesn't turn the ball over, because he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. They want to run the ball. They want to play defense. They want to do the short passing game. They don't want to throw the ball downfield. They don't want – this is their game plan.
Canada's getting fired. This offense is dog shit.
They know what they're doing. Okay, they know what they're getting into.
What is that? Losing?
They knew what they were getting into.
What do you mean?
Exactly,
they know
like
what they're doing? Not scoring points?
Kenny Pickett can go in and lose fucking games. I don't understand what we're talking about here.
They're 1-1 coming into this game.
Yeah, no, they should be 0-2. That was a fucking super fluky game against the Bengals. That was bullshit.
Well, what they want,
Mitch Trubisky did nothing to help that. That was all the defense.
They don't want to throw this season away. They're not going to throw this season away on just.
They are by playing Mitch Trubisky.
Well, Kenny Pickett is not going to come in and start. Look, Kenny Pickett might be. Yeah, I do know that. You know why? Because fucking Mitchell Trubisky is starting over Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett was that good, they would be starting him. They're not starting him. Mike Tomlin just wants to play a fucking ground and pound game. They want to fucking do the short passing game. They want to play defense. They want to win games like this.
So are we saying that Kenny Pickett's fucking retarded and can't hand a ball off?
What I'm saying is that Kenny Pickett is not the answer to this season, so they're not going to be bailing on Mitchell Trubisky anytime soon. Mitchell Trubisky does not turn the ball over. That's the one thing that they care about the most.
Oh, God.
They are not relying on Mitchell Trubisky to win them games. They're not trying to.
Which is why they won't win many.
Anyone take the McAfee boost? Because
it's not the ideal situation,
in my head,
but it's the situation that they're in, and they're not going to. They're not trying to rely on Mitchell Trubisky to win games, and if they are, then they're not going to think that Kenny Pickett is going to do a better job at it.
I got to take the dog out. She's
look. I'm just saying. I would love Kenny Pickett to come in there next week, but it's probably not going to happen. I think they're going to stick on Mitchell Trubisky for a while.
All right. Well, I love you guys, the people, the listeners.
I'm not done yelling.
Kenny Pickett lovers.
Oh God!
Well, here comes the onside kick here. Let's see. Let's see if this happens again.
I'm a little bit behind you guys, so
okay.
Just tell me what happens. They're gonna
get Amari Cooper out of there.
The Browns are not going to give up another.
Is Amari Cooper in there?
Oh no! Kenny Pickett just recovered that onside kick.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, it went out of bounds.
He overran it. All right, boys. Yeah, I got to pack.
All right, guys.
Bed.
Good win.
Enjoy.
All right.
Goodbye.
Take care, all.
Love you guys.
Bye.